start? Yeah. Shabbat Shalom. Does everyone have a prayer book? Okay, if you don't, they are in the back of the sanctuary outside the door. Why don't you grab a couple extras since you're heading out there? We'll begin our service with words of welcome attributed to King David. Hine ma tovu manayim shevet achim gam yachad. How good it is for brothers and sisters, for family to dwell together. We're on page 70. Hine ma tovu manayim shevet achim gam yachad. 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 Hine ma tovu manayim shevet achim gam yachad.
Shabbat Shalom all. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
It might be gray outside, but it's sunny and bright and exciting and wonderful and warm inside because of this great special moment. Maddie, to get to celebrate your bat mitzvah, your amazing being. It's Shabbat, and so in addition to celebrating Maddie, we can celebrate time and the privilege, the blessing of existing in this time at this moment. And one of the ways we try to raise our level of gratitude is by cutting ourselves off from some of the unneeded distractions. Was that subtle?
Whatever could you mean, Rabbi?
Pops understands. So, turn your phone off. It's okay. It's a request. It's just a request. Try to turn your phone off. It'll definitely still be there for us when the service ends at about 4 in the afternoon. It'll definitely be there for us.
And the Eternal does not need a cell phone.
Exactly. And we have people wonderful to share this experience with all of us here in the room. We have family and friends online. Give us some of the locations where family and friends are beyond Great Neck in New York, Long Island. Where? Texas, Washington. All right, Westchester. We have
far away.
I'm pretty sure we have a Jerusalem presence here. That would be Rabbi Tara. We're going to hear from her in a couple minutes or moments. But these opening blessings of our service, they're universally understood to be the way that you begin a day, which is to ground ourselves in our bodies. And the blessing, it's how unbelievable to feel better this morning even compared to last night. How wonderful to be, whether we're 6 or 16 or 61 or older. And so that's where we begin, on page 74, Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov. How wonderful, how good, how much goodness is there in us being together. 74.
And I'd like to invite Barbara, if you could, grab us a few more Sidurim. Thank you. That would be helpful. 2 will go to the front row.
Haley and Emma. Haley and Emma.
Matovu, יעקב, משכנותיך ישראל, מה טובו, מה טובו. אוהליך יעקב, משכנותיך ישראל, ואני ברוב חסדך אבוא ביתך, אשתחווה בהיכל קודשך ביראתך. מה טובו, מה טובו. אוהליך יעקב, משכנותיך ישראל, מה טובו, מה טובו. אוהליך יעקב, משכנותיך ישראל. אדוני אהבתי מעיון ביתך, ומקום משכן כבודך, משכן כבודך. ואני אשתחווה ואכרע אברך לפני אדוני עושי. מה טובו, מה טובו. אוהליך יעקב, משכנותיך ישראל, מה טובו, מה טובו. אוהליך יעקב, משכנותיך ישראל. ואני תפילתי לך, אדוני, את רצון, אלוהים ברוב חסדך, אלוהים ברוב חסדך, ענני באמת אישך. מה טובו, מה טובו. אוהליך יעקב, משכנותיך ישראל, מה טובו, מה טובו. אוהליך יעקב, משכנותיך ישראל, משכנותיך ישראל.
I'd like to ask our bat mitzvah, Maddie, to come on up and begin helping us lead the service. We're going to be on page 78. 78, Elohai Neshama.
Elohai, Elohai, Neshama, Neshama, Shenatata bi, Shenatata bi, Tehorahi, Tehorahi. Elohai, Elohai, Neshama, Neshama, Shenatata bi, Shenatata bi, Tehorahi, Tehorahi.
You shaped it, you breathed it into me, and you protect it within me. For as long as my soul is within me, I offer thanks to you, Adonai my God and God of my ancestors, source of all creation, source of all the sound of all the souls. Praise are you, Adonai, in whose hand is every living soul and the breath of humankind.
Baruch atah Adonai, Asher beyado, nefesh kol chai, veruach kol Asar ish.
Matter is never destroyed, only transformed. So, too, can the soul evolve higher and higher, from instinct to inspiration, haughtiness to holiness, selfishness to service, from individualism to union, to join us with the soul of souls, to infinite one. As the soul is magnified and sanctified, so is the infinite one exalted.
Thank you. We continue with blessings for everyday miracles on page 80.
And as we do, we join us either in the Hebrew itself, in the English that we go to, or in offering an amen after each blessing. Or, you know, the tradition that says there's more merit for saying the amen than the blessing itself. So however you find your voice, try to do so. Page 80 at the top. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. And now the English, the second line. Who has given the mind the ability to distinguish day from night.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who opens the eyes of the blind.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, matir asurim, who frees the captive.
Amen. Bottom of the page. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. And now the English, who lifts up the fallen.
Amen.
82.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who stretches the earth over the waters.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamechim et gaver, who strengthens our steps.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who clothes the naked. Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who gives strength to the weary.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who removes sleep from the eyes, slumber from the eyelids.
Amen. 84. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who made me in the image of God.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who has made me free.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asani Yisrael, who has made me a Jew.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who girds Israel with strength.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who crowns Israel with splendor.
Amen. 86, last one.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah, who hallows us with mitzvot and commands us to engage with words of Torah.
Amen. We turn now to Rabbi Tara for Elu Dvarim in Jerusalem. We're on page 88, Rabbi Tara.
Hey everyone, I don't know if you can hear me. Hi. As you can see by the lighting in the back, it's getting already dark here. The sun is setting. And what a miracle. Can you hear me?
Yes.
And what a wonderful thing it is to be here with you this morning. So I'm thinking these next blessings that we're going to read together on page 88 are blessings about showing up for each other and for community. And I'm just thinking about your family. Showing up to whether it's making a local day camp or helping to better our public schools or to grow our interfaith ties. Yours is a family that helps us learn how to show up for each other and to do the work, plant those seeds that make community and our lives bloom. So that's what these blessings are about. Please join with me. We're on 88. These are things that are limitless, of which a person enjoys the fruit in this world while the principle remains in the world to come. They are honoring one's father and mother, engaging in deeds of compassion, arriving early for study, morning and evening, dealing graciously with guests, visiting the sick, providing for the wedding couple, accompanying the dead for burial, being devoted in prayer and making peace among people. And the study of Torah, well, it encompasses them all. Mazel tov. It's great to be here with you.
Thank you, Tara. Okay, and we turn now to page 94.
Baruch she'amar v'haya ha'olam, Baruch hu. Baruch Ose Bereshit, Baruch Omer Ve'oseh, Baruch Ozerem Kayem, Baruch Merachem al haaretz, Baruch Merachem al habriot, Baruch Meshalem Sachar Tov l'Reav, Baruch Chai La'ad Ve'Kayam Lanetzach, Baruch Podeh U'Matzil, Baruch Shemo. בשבחות ובזמרות נגד לך, ונשבחך ונפרך ונזכיר שמך, ונמליך מלכנו אלוהינו, יחיד חי העולמים, מלך משובח ומפרדי עד שמו הגדול. ברוך אתה אדוני, מלך מחולל בתשבחות.
97.
אשרי יושבי ביתך, עוד יהללוך, סלה. אשרי העם שככה לו, אשרי העם שאדוני אלוהיו, תהילה לדוד. ארוממך אלוהי המלך, ועברך שמך לעולם ועד. בכל יום אברכך, ואהללה שמך לעולם ועד. גדול אדוני ומהולל מאוד, ולגדולתו אין חקר. דור לדור ישבח מעשיך, וגבורותיך יגידו. הדר כבוד הודיך, ודברי נפלאותיך עשיך. וזוז נורתך יאמרו, גדולתך ספרנה. זכרתך יביעו, וצדקתך ירננו. חנון ורחום אדוני, ערך אפיים וגדל חסד. טוב אדוני לכל, ורחמיו על כל מעשיו. יודוך אדוני כל מעשיך, וחסידיך יברכוך. כבוד מלכותך יאמרו, וגבורתך ידברו. יודיע לבני אדם גבורותיו, וכבוד אדם מלכותו. מלכותך מלכות כל עולמים, וממשלתך בכל דור ודור. סומך אדוני לכל הנופלים, וזוקף לכל הכפופים. עיני כל אליך יסברו, ואתה נותן להם את אוכלם בעיתו. פותח את ידיך, ומשביע לכל חי רצון. צדיק אדוני בכל דרכיו, וחסיד בכל מעשיו. קרוב אדוני לכל קוראיו, לכל אשר יקראו באמת. רצון יראיו יעשה, ואת שבתם ישמע ויושיעם. שומר אדוני את כל אוהביו, ואת כל הרשעים ישמיד. תהילת אדוני ידבר פי, ויברך כל בשר שם קודשו לעולם ועד. ואנחנו נברך יה מעתה ועד עולם. Hallelujah. Page 100, Psalm 150. 100, page 100. Hallelujah.
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 I'm going to need your help with these Hebrew words like hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
I know they're very hard. It's very foreign. Hallelujah. Also the last words. Kol hanshama tehallel ya. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Do we have that? Yes?
Yes.
I'm seeing a lot of heads nodding. Good. Okay. Hallelujah, el bekodsho. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Birkiya uzo. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Bigvurotav. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Kerov gudlo. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Kol hanshama tehallel ya. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Kol hanshama tehallel ya. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Beteka shofar. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. בנבל וכינור, הללויה, הללויה, הללו, במינים ועוגב, הללויה, הללויה, הללו, במינים ועוגב, הללויה, הללויה, כל הנשמה תהלליה, הללויה, הללויה, כל הנשמה תהלליה, הללויה, הללויה, הללו, בצלצלי שמה, הללויה, הללויה, הללו, בצלצלי שמה, הללויה, הללויה, כל הנשמה תהלליה, הללויה, הללויה, כל הנשמה תהלליה, הללויה, הללויה.
Page 101. 101.
נשמת כל חי, תברך את שמך, אדוני אלוהינו. נשמת כל חי, תברך את שמך, אדוני אלוהינו. לי 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la la la. All things that live to God thanks must give. Adonai Eloheinu, nishmat kol chai tevarech et shimecha. Adonai Eloheinu, lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 ya la lai lai yai lai 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 la lai yai lai 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 yai lai 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 la lai yai lai 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 ya la lai 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 ya lai 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 lai.
Turn to page 102 and join Maddie and I as we lead us in this reading. Even if our mouths were full of song as the sea, and our tongues full of joy and countless waves, and our lips full of praise
as
wide as the sky's expanse,
and were our eyes to shine like sun and moon, if our hands were spread out like heaven's eagles, and our feet swift like young deer, we could never thank you adequately, Adonai, our God and God of our ancestors, to bless your name for a 10,000th of the many myriads of times you granted favors to our ancestors and to us. Page 104.
שוכנת מרום וקדוש שמו וכתוב רעננו צדיקים באדוני לשרים נאווה תהילה בפי שרים תתהלל ודברי צדיקים תתברך ובלשון חסידים תתרומם ובקרב קדושים תקדש ובמקלות רביבות עמך בית ישראל, ברינה יתפאר שמך מלכנו בכל דור ודור. ישתבח שמך ליד מלכנו, האל המלך הגדול והקדוש בשמיים ובארץ. כי לך נאה אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו. שיר ושבחה, הלל וזמרה, עוז וממשלה נצח, גדולה וגבורה, תהילה ותפארת, קדושה ומלכות, ברכות והוראות מעתה ועד עולם. ברוך אתה אדוני, אל מלך גדול בתשבחות, אל ההודעות אדון הנפלאות, הבוחר בשירי זמרה, מלך אל חיי העולמים. Page 106. יתגדל ויקדש שמי רבה, וילמד דברי חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחיי חון וביומי חון ובחיי לכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב יאמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולעולמי עלמיה, יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי דקודשה בריחו, לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דאמירן בהלמה, ויאמרו אמן.
Rise at page 108.
Lai 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 la lai lai la lai 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 la lai 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 lai. Baruchu et Adonai hamevorach, Baruch Adonai hamevorach leolam. Baruch Adonai Yamvorach leolam vaed.
Page 110.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, yotzer or uvorei choshech, oseh shalom ובורא את הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, יוצר אור ובורא חושך, עושה שלום ובורא את הכל.
Praise are you, Adonai our God, servant of the universe, creator of light and darkness, who makes peace and fashions all things. In mercy you illumine the world and those who live upon it. In your goodness you daily renew creation. How numerous are your works to Adonai. In wisdom you formed them all, filling the earth with your creatures. Be praised, Adonai our God, for the excellent work of your hands.
Let's join Maddie. And for the
lights
lights you created,
may
they glorify you. Shine a new light upon Zion, that we all may swiftly merit their radiance. Praised are you, Adonai,
creator of heavenly lights.
אור חדש על ציון תאיר, ונזכה כולנו מהרה לאורו. ברוך אתה אדוני יוצר המאורות. Page 112. אהבה רבה אהבתנו, אדוני אלוהינו, חמלה גדולה ויתרה, חמלת עלינו. בעבור אבותינו ואימותינו, שבטחו בך, ותלמדם חוקי חיים. כן תכוננו ותלמדנו, המרחם רחם עלינו, ותהן בליבנו, להבין ולהשכיל לשמוע, ללמוד ולממד, לשמור ולעשות ולקיים את כל דברי תלמוד תורתך ביד.
deeply you have loved us, Adonai, our God, gracing us with surpassing compassion. On account of our forebears, whose trust led you, you teach them the laws of life. Be gracious to us, teaching us as well. O merciful one, have mercy on us by making us able to understand one, discern, to heed, learn, and to teach, and lovingly to observe, perform, and fulfill all that is in your Torah.
We're in the middle of the page. והערננו בתורתך, ודבק ליבנו במצוותיך, ויחל לבבינו לאהבה וליראה את שמך, ולא נבוש, ולא נקלם, ולא ניכשל לעולם ועד, כי בשם קודשך הגדול והנורא בטחנו, נגילה ונשמחה, נגילה ונשמחה בישועתך. והביאנו לשלום מארבע כנפות הארץ, ותוליכנו קוממיות לארצנו. כי אל פועל ישועות אתה, ובנו בחרת וקרבתנו לשמך הגדול. סלע באמת להודות לך ויחדך באהבה. ברוך אתה אדוני הבוחר בעמו ישראל באהבה.
Page 114, Shema.
Shema
ישראל,
Yisrael,
אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד, ברוך שם כבוד מלכותו לעולם ועד.
Please be seated. 116.
ואהבת
את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך.
למען תזכרו ועשיתם
את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים.
אני אדוני
אלוהיכם.
אדוני אלוהיכם
Cough and sneeze at
אמת.
the same time. God bless you.
Thank you.
We turn to page 122. Micha Mocha, 122.
Ya lai 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 la la lai, ya la lai 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 lai, ya lai 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 la la lai, ya la lai 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 lai, ya lai la 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 lai, ya la lai 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 lai, ya lai la 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 lai, ya la lai lai lai. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה, שירה חדשה שיבחו גאולים, לשמך על שפת הים יחד כולם, הודו והמליכו ויאמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. La 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 So Yisrael, Kuma be'ezrat Yisrael, Ufedechenu mecha Yehuda ve'Yisrael. Go aleinu Adonai tzevaot shemo, Kedosh Yisrael, Baruch ata Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael.
Turn to page 124 for Amidah, standing prayer.
Adonai sefatai tiftachu fi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch ata Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu, Ve'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah. El Agadol Agibor Ve'Yanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Ve'konei Akol, Ve'zocher Chasdei Avot Ve'imahot, U'mevii Geula Livnei V'neihem, Lema'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer, U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch ata Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah. 128. Ata gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechaye hakol ata Rav lehoshia, Mashiv haruach u'morid hagashem, Mechalkel chayim bechesed, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופך עולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עבר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומיתו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. Page 130. נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב היד נביאך, וקרא זה אל זה ויאמר, קדוש 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוך כל הארץ כבודו. אדיר אדירנו אדוני אדוננו, מה אדיר שמך בכל הארץ. ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו, הוא מלכנו, הוא מושיענו והוא ישמיענו, ברחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהיכם ברוכייך ציון לדור ודור, הללויה. לדור ודור נגיד גודלך, ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש, ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
We take a few moments of our own silent prayer from the prayers on the page, the meditations of our heart. And we'll come back together in a few moments on page 140 at Sim Shalom, a prayer for peace. But a moment or two for our silent reflections and meditations.
Feel free to continue your private meditations at your own pace, or join me on page 140 for the morning prayer for peace. Sim shalom, tova uvracha, chen v'chesed v'rachamim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol Yisrael amecha, ברכנו יוצרנו כולנו כאחד באור פניך, כי באור פניך נתת לנו אדוני אלוהינו. שים שלום, שים שלום, טובה וברכה, חן וחסד ורחמים ורחמים עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ועל כל ישראל עמך, תורת חיים ואהבת חסד, ואהבת חסד, וצדקה וברכה ורחמים וחיים ושלום. שים שלום, טובה וברכה, חן וחסד ורחמים ורחמים עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ועל כל ישראל עמך, וטוב וטוב בעיניך לברך את עמך ישראל בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך, בשלומך. שים שלום, טובה וברכה, חן וחסד ורחמים ורחמים עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ועל כל ישראל עמך. ברוך אתה אדוני המברך את עמו ישראל בשלום.
Okay, we can actually remain standing because we're about to climb. You ready for a big climb up the most important mountain in the world?
I hope
The
you brought
most
your hiking
important
boots.
Jewish moment in history is right now as we climb Mount Sinai. And in order to do that, Maddie, I want your sisters and your mom and dad to come up with us because they're going to need to join us on this climb. Okay? So all of you come up, and we're going to go to the ark.
The rest of us are going to turn to page 244. Ein kemocha v'Elohim Adonai ve'ein kemaasecha malachutecha malachut kol olamim umemshaltecha bechol dor vador Adonai melech Adonai malach Adonai Himloch Leolam Vaed Adonai Oz Leamo Yitein Adonai Yevarech Et Amo Vashalom Av HaRachamim Eitiva Virtzonecha Et Zion Tivnei Chomot Yerushalayim Tivnei Chomot Yerushalayim Ki Vecha Levad Batachnu Melech El Ram Venisa Adon Olamim 246 Ki mitzion tetzei Torah Ki mitzion tetzei Torah Udevar Adonai mi Yerushalayim
248.
Baruch Shenatan Torah
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shama.
Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo, Gadlul Adonai iti, Uneromema Shemo Yachdav. Lecha Adonai Agedula, Ve'agevura, Ve'atiferet, Ve'hanetzach, Ve'hahol. על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים, העולם עומד. על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים העולם עומד. על התורה ועל העבודה ועל גמילות חסדים. על התורה ועל העבודה ועל גמילות חסדים. The Torah is at rest, so may you be. Have a seat.
All right. All right, so we have, for the honor of the first Aliyah,
We are reading from Parshat Chaye Sarah.
very beginning of the Parsha, and for the honor of the first Aliyah, grandparents, Jules and Linda Tak, Ya'amdu, Saba, Vasavta, Grandpa and Pops and Grandma Lichvoda Torah. Come this way around. Yeah, come to this side of the table. You're going to be doing it from here. Here's your microphone. In all of this weird COVID world, we tried to create a little bit of distancing. I don't know if we're succeeding, but we're trying. Okay, on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Baruch Adonai Borach Leolam Va'ed. Amen. We're at Genesis chapter 23.
Amen. Vayihu haye Sarah me'a shana ve'esrim shana ve'sheva shanim shnei haye Sarah ve'tamat Sarah v'kiryat arba hi Hebron be'eretz Canaan vayavo Avraham lispor leSarah ve'liv kota Vayakom Avraham me'al penei meito vaytaber el benechet lemor.
Beautiful. You guys can sit. Ms. Alto, take your time, don't rush. How often do we get to be on Mount Sinai? We're on what? Not so often, exactly. Take both. Both are true. So, for the honor of the second Aliyah, can you hear me? I'm turning it on. I got it. For the honor of the second Aliyah, from a remote honor, your Uncle Kirk. Is Kirk up? Uncle Kirk?
Yep.
Yay, come on up, Uncle Kirk. Yeah, are you there? Good. Welcome, Ya'amod. Uncle Kirk lichvod haTorah.
Baruch et Adonai HaMevarach.
Baruch Adonai Borach
Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaMevarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Ha'amim Vaneta Lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Notin HaTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Ger v'toshav anochi imachem tanu lo ahuzat kaver imachem ve'ekbera meti milfanai vaya anu el ham et Avraham lemor lo Shema'ini Adoni Mesi Ata Elohim Ata V'tochenu b'mivhar kevarenu kevor et metecha ish mimenu et kivra lo yichlek mimcha mikvor metecha.
All right, Uncle Kirk.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Natan Lanu Toret Emet B'chayei Olam Natan B'teinu. Baruch Atah Adonai Natin HaTorah.
Amen. Okay, wonderful. Thank you, Uncle Kirk. What a blessing that you're with us remotely. And for the honor of the third Aliyah, Mom and Dad and sisters, come on up. Ya'amdu Gidon Aharon Velizan Akol Lichvod Torah. Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Le'olam
Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Verse 7.
Amen. Vayakom Avraham. Vayishtachu le'am ha'aretz lifnei chet. Vaydaber itam lemor. Im yesh et nafshechem. Likbor et meti milfanai. Shema'uni ufig'uli. Befron ben Sohar. Vayiten li. Et me'arat hamachpelah asher lo asher bikse sadehu b'chesed maleh yitnena li betochechem lahuzat kaveh.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam natan b'toheinu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Okay, and so now we have, this is the moment, Maddie, where you become a bat mitzvah. We've talked about this a bunch of times. It's when you recite the blessing. It's actually not when you chant from the Torah. It's when you recite the blessing. So I'm going to call you up with your Hebrew name as an adult to lead us in the Torah reading. Tamod, 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 abchorat bat mitzvah, Mayan, bat Gidon Aharon, v'liz Nicole, chizki.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Ve'efron Yosef betoch b'nei chet vayam Efron chachiti et Avraham ba'uznei b'nei chet lecho ba'ei she'ar iro lemor lo Adoni shema'ini hasadeh netachti la b'hamara asher ba lecho netaticha le'einei b'nei ami betoch netaticha lam kevor meitecha. Vayishtahu Avraham lifnei
Aham haaretz.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
And Mom and Dad and sisters, you can sit for a moment. You can sit. I'm going to here. Oops, I'm sorry. All right. Turn my microphone back on. We turn to page 253 for 256, forgive me, for a prayer for healing, a healing of mind and body, a healing of spirit and soul. And we bring to our own minds, our own hearts, the loved ones, the friends, the family members, even friends of friends. There's so many who are struggling and have struggled over these last 18 to 24 months. Prayer for healing, Misha Berach on 253.
Misha Berach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishe Berach Imotenu Mekor HaBracha Lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
So I want to now ask again to lead us in a prayer remotely, Uncle Kirk, the prayer for the congregation, for Uncle Max. You're here. Uncle Max is here. Yay! Yay for Uncle Max. Come here, and here's the prayer book. I'm about to. I'll bring it. No, here you are. This is it. The microphone. There you go.
Source of all being, may the children of this community learn these passions from us: love of Torah, devotion and prayer, and support of the needy. May we guide with integrity, and may our leadership be in your service. May those who teach and nourish us be blessed with satisfaction, and may we appreciate their time and their devotion. Bless us with the fruits of wisdom and understanding, and may our efforts bring fulfillment and joy.
Amen.
Amen.
Wonderful. Max, thank you so much. You can leave that there.
Oh.
And you can put the microphone down as well. Thank you for honoring us with that, leading that prayer. And now, for our prayer for the nation, Jody Claristenfeld. Jody, here you are. And actually, David, if you want to come with her, because you'll follow right after her, or you can come separately, whichever you prefer. Jody will be leading us to prayer for the nation on 258. 258, the microphone is right there, Jody. And then David, you'll lead us in the prayer for Israel.
Thus says Adonai, this is what I desire, to unlock the fetters of wickedness and untie the cords of lawlessness, to let the oppressed go free, to break off every yoke. Share your bread with the hungry and take the wretched poor into your home. When you see the naked, give clothing, and do not ignore your own kin. If you banish the yoke from your midst, the menacing hand, the evil speech, if you offer compassion to the hungry and satisfy the famished creature, then your light shall shine in darkness.
Beautiful.
Amen.
Okay. And now our prayer for Israel, as Uncle David, you'll lead us in that. For the rest of us, 259. Prayer for Israel.
Avinu, Avinu, Sheba Shamayim, Tzur Yisrael v'goalo. Avinu, Avinu, Sheba Shamayim, Tzur Yisrael v'goalo. Barech et Midinat Yisrael, Reshit Tzmichat Geulatenu, Hagen aleh be'evrat chazdecha, ufros aleh sukat shlomecha, ushlach orcha v'amitcha l'roshea, sareha v'yotzea, v'taknem beitzah tova milfanecha, v'natata shalom ba'aretz, v'simchat olam liyoshvea, v'nomar Amen.
You want to lead us, David, one last time? Avinu, Avinu, on the refrain.
Avinu, Avinu, Sheba Shamayim, Tzur Yisrael v'goalo. Avinu, Avinu, Sheba Shamayim, Tzur Yisrael v'go'alo.
Beautiful. Thank you, Aunt, Uncle, Jody, and David. Okay, and now we're going to raise and dress the Torah. So Grant, you can come up for the raising of it, and you all will make a spot for Grant to come sit as you prepare to dress the Torah. I'd ask for everyone to rise. Please rise.
וזאת התורה אשר שם משה לפני בני ישראל על פי אדוני ביד משה. תורה, 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 ציווה לנו משה. Torah, 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 ציווה לנו משה. Torah, 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 ציווה לנו משה. Torah, 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 ציווה לנו משה. מורשת קהילת יעקב, מורשת Yaakov, Morashat Kehilat Yaakov, Torah Tziva Lanu Moshe.
Grant has a lot of power right now because we can't sit until he does.
Take your time, Grant.
Take your time.
Go ahead. You may be seated.
Maddie.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Good morning to everyone. Our Torah portion this week is Hayei Sarah. In writing this speech, I learned with Rabbi Meir about two critical moments in Abraham's life. I think these two moments are very relevant to all of our lives and to this moment of becoming a bat mitzvah. The first moment of Abraham's life that I studied with Rabbi Meir is from chapter 12 of Genesis 2 weeks ago when God said, Lech Lecha, go, from this place to a new place. Go from Mesopotamia, from Iraq to a place we call Israel, to a place of great spiritual meaning. At the outset of Abraham's journey in life, God said to him, I will bless you, Abraham. And also, God added another important idea, something I've not thought about before. God said, Abraham, you shall be a blessing. God told Abraham that his mission in life is to be a blessing, but what does it mean to be a blessing? I've heard about getting a blessing and about being blessed, but to be a blessing, I think that's a new idea for me. Obviously, this caused me and Rabbi Meir to talk a lot about the idea of being a blessing. The second moment in Abraham's life that I wanted to highlight is from our parsha this morning. In our portion, Abraham is preparing for the end of his life. Listen to two moments in our portion. The first is from chapter 24. Abraham's servant says this, The Lord has greatly blessed my master Abraham, and he has become rich. He has given his son Isaac sheep and cattle, silver and gold, male and female slaves, camels and asses. And Sarah, my master's wife, bore my master a son in her old age. And Abraham has assigned to Isaac everything Abraham owns. Here, at the end of Abraham's life, our parsha focuses not on what God gave to Abraham, but on what Abraham is giving to Isaac. First, Torah lists all the stuff, sheep, cattle, silver, gold, etc. And then it says that Isaac received everything Abraham owns. Then a few verses later, chapter 25 simply says this, Abraham willed all that he owned to Isaac. But in this instance, there is no reference to any specific property that Abraham gave to Isaac. First, Abraham gave to Isaac everything that he owns and listed all the property. Second, Abraham willed all that he owned to Isaac and made no mention of any specific property. These two verses sound so similar. Abraham gave everything that he owns and he willed all that he owned to Isaac. The two statements seem almost identical, but I've learned about a tradition that in the Torah never wastes words. There are no unnecessary words, pointless repetitions in Torah. So that made me wonder, maybe there is a difference in these two passages even though they seem so similar. Let me explain what Rabbi Nehemiah says in the Talmud. Here's why the Torah repeats this statement several times. The first time, when Abraham gives everything to his son Isaac, that relates to all of his stuff, his material possessions, sheep, cattle, silver, gold, etc. In the second instance, however, Abraham is trying to give to Isaac a set of values, morals, a perspective on life. Rabbi Nehemiah from the Talmud helps us understand his distinction. At first, when I read these passages, I was pretty confused. I had no clue what we were talking about or how it could possibly relate to my life. But now I see how much it does relate to my life. Let me explain. We all love Hanukkah, even though parents don't really love giving gifts to their kids every night. So for many, Hanukkah is less about getting gifts and more about doing acts of kindness for other people. For many families, they find ways to give gifts on Hanukkah rather than receive gifts from their parents. I now realize that's what the holiday of Hanukkah is really about. Think also about the holiday that is only 3 weeks away, Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is not just about having a big meal with your family, but so much about doing what we can to help others who don't have what we have. My dad and sisters and I have gone many times to food drives on Thanksgiving weekend when we deliver or hand out food to people who don't have what they need. Rabbi Meir and I spoke a lot about what my parents tried to pass down to me and my sisters. Here are some of the values and the morals that they emphasize with us. Don't worry what others think. Be confident and do what's right. Be yourself, who you are. Don't be afraid to make mistakes in life. We learn from them. I think these are very important ideas for all of us. These values can help us become individuals and families with more goodness and truth and generosity. These holidays remind us to struggle to be our best selves at every age. So let me return to my original subject of being a blessing. God told Abraham to be a blessing, and then Abraham passed God's message to him down to Isaac. Abraham and Sarah are like all parents. All parents want to pass down values to their children, not just material things. What I think I've learned is that these values that my parents and all parents try to pass down are at the core of being a blessing in the world. I'll leave you with 2 questions. What are the values or teachings or morals are you determined to pass down to the next generation, to your grandchildren or children? What do you think are the best ways for your children and grandchildren to be a blessing, just like God told Abraham to be a blessing? In this next part of my speech, I was asked to think about what I value most about being Jewish. This bat mitzvah process has helped me realize how important Torah is and how worthwhile it can be to really understand and dig into the meaning of the stories behind it. I learned what being a blessing really means, but I don't think it really would have happened without me spending hours on this. Rabbi Meir also asked me to ask my parents and grandparents whether they had a bar bat mitzvah. The point of this is for me to hear my family's experiences when they were my age. My grandpa, Pop, told me this. I thought it was great. I didn't like that I had a dozen friends and all the rest were family. I thought it was a great experience and I will never forget it. It was at an Orthodox temple and men and women had to sit separate. Like every bar bat mitzvah student, I had to learn how to read Hebrew without vowels. My grandparents really wanted me to do that. I remember, just like Maddie, I used a silver yod. The next day was the party. I remember it like it was yesterday. My dad actually had 2 bar mitzvahs. One of them was in Israel at the top of Masada. It was more than a bar mitzvah. It was a trip to Israel, and on that morning, we took an early bus to Masada. It felt so special and amazing to sit with my family in the temple and the ruins and such an important historical spot. My dad got his own Torah, and he remembers standing on the top of Masada, remember how lucky he was, and lucky to be there with the people he had loved. My dad's second bar mitzvah was at home with his friends. He had to learn 2 Torah portions. Every bar bat mitzvah student is asked to take on a mitzvah project. I think this makes a lot of sense. Now that I'm becoming a Jewish adult, it's a good time for me to begin to do more for others. I ran a basketball tournament at St. Al's Church. It was over 2 days, and we raised over $2,000. The money is going to St. Al's Food Pantry. This made me feel like I accomplished something to help others. I now see why this is an important part of becoming a bat mitzvah and a Jewish adult. Of course, I cannot make it my Jewish adulthood without a lot of help along the way, particularly because of COVID. I will not be here today. You see, my bat mitzvah was originally scheduled for December 5th, 2020, but postponed until today because of COVID. Of course, getting from December 5th to December 5th, 2020 today was not easy, at least not for my Cantor Adam and Rabbi Feldman. Cantor Adam, Rabbi Feldman, and I prepared digitally for that December 2020 event, studying the prayers and even preparing our Devar Torah, none of which were able to apply today. So Cantor Adam And Rabbi Feldman, I thank you not only for all the effort and soul you put into today, but for all your efforts for almost the last 2 years. This effort is probably nothing you've ever given before and likely never will again. I'm not even sure I'm capable presently of appreciating all you've done, but I'm sure as I move forward from this day, I will grow increasingly more appreciative of your efforts. I also couldn't be here today without my 2 best friends, my sisters Haley and Emily. We fight often, make that a lot for sure. But the 2 of you are always in my mind, body and soul. Haley, you're the big sister I've always looked up to and wanted to be. You are smart, funny, and a beautiful person, and as my older sister, you always set the standard which I seek to attain. Emily, you're my younger sister, and you bring out the lessons I've learned from Haley. I'm always there for you in camp or in school or at home, helping lead the way as you grow up. And you, in turn, remind me to never grow up, to laugh, smile, and never lose sight of the younger girl I once was. And finally, to my parents, how can I say thank you enough to the people who brought me and my sisters into this world, who lead by examples of life, love, family, community, and friendship. You always encourage me to be a better sister, friend, and person. You're always there with a smile, hug, nudge, prod, or even yelling, pushing me to be the best version of myself, and always reminding me the world is a better place when I am myself. No matter the circumstance, whether it be working on a math question or driving me up to camp after I refuse to get on the bus, or providing me advice on how to navigate my sisters or middle school friendships, you are always there. No matter how old we get, a hug from you always feels the same because it comes from a special place and our bond will never change. I love you so much and thank you so much, and I'm looking forward to celebrating this occasion with you tonight.
Simin tov, mazel tov, simin tov, mazel tov, simin tov, mazel tov, simin tov, yehelanu, Olecho Yisrael, yehelanu, Olecho Yisrael. Yehelanu, Olecho Yisrael. Yehelanu, Olecho Yisrael.
We will return the Torah to the Ark. It will be on page 256.
Yitzchayim hi lamachazikim ba vetomcheha mehushar derachea darchenoam vechol netivoteha Shalom, Hashivenu Adonai, Elecha v'nashuva, Kadesh Yameinu, Kekedem. May be seated.
Should I go? Yeah, go for it. Yep. Madison, I stand before you in awe of this moment because it's one of the few times since you received your phone that I have your undivided attention. No texts, no calls, and most of all, no TikToks. I only hope that I'm able to rise to the uniqueness of this moment. I want to tell you that I'm so proud of you, not just for today, but for all the little moments and accomplishments of the last 13 years. And I'm so glad that I get the chance to tell you what a gift you've been to us, and that you have a beautiful and special gift to offer the world. As I always say, the world is a better place when you share yourself with it. And I know it's not easy being the middle sister in our own little world, let alone a middle sister to two other sisters. Your oldest sister pushes your mind into the future and the experiences you've yet to have, while your younger sister reminds you of your earlier childhood years. And by virtue of sitting in the middle, each decision that you make places you closer to one of your sisters, to the annoyance of the other. And yet you've handled this role with grace. You are, after all, uniquely you. You're athletic and graceful and beautiful on the outside, while strong, increasingly independent, and empathetic on the inside. What I truly admire about you is that you live your life out loud and in the present moment, even if it's in the virtual world. Inside, the increasingly sophisticated and grown-up young lady standing before me in your dress and high heels is a kid. And in your own special way, you are courageous, adventurous, and competitive. But boy, do you like to have fun. Youth certainly is not wasted on you, and this is one of your gifts. You love and live to play. Never mind that you might have had a soccer game in the morning or midday and a school assignment due the next day. You'll always make it to the basketball game that night or even a party that night. And heck, you've been known to play basketball at parties with boys, if you wanted to combine it all. And at the same time, you're appropriately wise and thoughtful. You're empathetic, kind, and compassionate. You're always concerned about your sisters and friends, wanting to make sure they're included in whatever you're doing. Yeah, it's true, sometimes you don't prepare your water bottle or put your shoes on and tie them before we get to a sporting event. And sometimes you've forgotten your homework or forgotten to call home, but you've never forgotten how to have fun. And you never forget to love those closest to you, and you never forget to help those who need. This is also your gift. During the course of your bat mitzvah studies, you learned about the transition to adulthood from childhood. You've studied the importance of being responsible for your actions, for recognizing that as an adult you will have certain obligations to society, your community, to your family and friends. And your mother and I have no doubt that you will contribute towards the improvement of the lives around you, as evidenced by your continued participation in your mitzvah project, raising money for charity through youth basketball tournaments. My wish for you today as you enter adulthood is simply this. No matter how complicated the world gets for you, always remain a kid. Don't lose your gift of being playful and living in the moment. And don't be afraid to put your phone down. Don't ever forget to feel the warmth of a sunny day or the playfulness of a snow day. Share your fun with others and remind yourself that happiness can be found in the things that are most simple. Keep the gift of your optimism and curiosity alive, because to remain curious and hopeful is to never grow old. And most importantly, as you continue to make your way in the world, remember always that your mother, sisters, family, and I love you, and that we are here to support you regardless of the situation. And remember, as I always say, the world is a better place when Madison is being Madison. I'll let you go.
Can you hear me? You know, every month or so is a new COVID audible, right, Drs. Podwell? So this is how it used to be for 11 years, 10 years, that Rabbi Tara and I would bring the bar bat mitzvah up and bless them directly. Today I'm thinking I'm going to stand a little bit away, but rather than just having you here and me down there, is this okay? Okay, so Maddie, I'm going to share a blessing with you. And the blessing is you have this blessing. It's in an envelope, a sealed envelope in the gift bag that Barbara Podwell is going to share with you, but I want to give it to you live and in person. And I want to start by telling you, I think you know, I hope you know, I think your parents do too, how meaningful it is for me to be here with you and your parents and family. For me, I feel such a genuine, like truly close friendship and care, respect with your mom and dad, and that's a great gift for me. I love the time we've spent for the last 18 months or more, I can't really remember. As everyone knows, and your dad alluded briefly, you are smart and thoughtful. You have a quiet and growing self-confidence. You're becoming more and more independent. In my time with you, I feel a very special quality, a light, a spark that I know will travel with you, will shine brightly upon you throughout your whole life. Tara and I, at this moment, give every student a gift, a special gift on this occasion, and it's a gift that travels light because it is a verse from your Torah portion. And so I want to share with you this verse, and then I'm going to explain to you why I gave it to you, why I choose this one. V'yavarchu et Rivka, v'yamru la, achotenu at, v'alfei revava, v'yirash zaracha et shar sonav. And so what this verse means is, Yivarchu et Rivka, and they blessed Rivka. And they said to her, "Oh, sister, may you grow into thousands of myriads. May your offspring seize the gates of their foes." I love your explanation, Maddie, and in the Dvar Torah that you wrote, your explanation of being a blessing. I remember this moment where you were like, "What? It's confusing." I know, like receiving a blessing or being blessed, but being a blessing. It's such an important and beautiful question and ultimately answer that you gave. But today I want to give you this verse that we didn't study. We actually did not study this verse and about 40,000 other verses. But I pray that we will some other time get to focus on this verse. But here's the first reason that I give you this verse, and it's because this verse in your Torah portion is part of every Jewish wedding. Every Jewish woman is achotenu at, those two Hebrew words. Every bride, we pray, will grow into myriads. "Oh, sister, may you grow." You have many years before you reach this place in life, but long before then, even right now, I want you to know that what will be said to you under the chuppah is in your very own parsha. These words will be said to you, God willing, when you stand many years from now. That's reason number one. The second reason I choose this verse is because it's referring to qualities that are already yours. In this moment of the Torah, Rebekah's family is reminding her that she's a person of wisdom and insight and depth. Kindness, generosity, and goodness already define who she is. And you, like Rivka, Maddie, possess those qualities. Here's how your mom and dad described you a few days ago. Maddie is a great sister. She's amazing. She works hard at everything she takes on, from advanced math to 4 sports teams. Maddie never settles for just okay. She's an incredibly kind and thoughtful and caring human being. She helps special needs children. She constantly worries about how others are feeling. And she's always the advocate for her sisters and friends. Those are pretty beautiful compliments, and they totally capture who you are. These qualities, Maddie, are precisely the qualities that this verse I've chosen for you celebrates. So let me share one final and third reason that I choose this verse. The verse, it says, "May your offspring seize the gates of their foes." It's confusing. It's hard to know what this piece of poetry in our Torah means. Your offspring, one's offspring, long before we're a mom or dad, or who knows, some of us never become moms and dads in a biological sense, but we all are moms and dads. How? Through our ideas, our values, the causes that matter most to us. Those are our offspring. Those are your offspring already. You shared beautiful offspring in this Devar Torah of yours. And they, those ideas, those values, they will seize the gates of our foes. For when the world gets to know you, Maddie, even those who want to criticize you or don't feel so connected to you or feel jealous of you or who knows what, even they will ultimately seek your wisdom and advice. Peers who were never Rivka's friends eventually came to her for advice and solace and insight. And that'll be true about you as well. In fact, to some degree, I think it probably already is. But one last thing. Your mom and dad also said this. I knew I'd be repeating it, which is a good thing. We remember stuff after it's been said multiple times. The world is a better place when you, Maddie, are not afraid to be you. It's such a profoundly simple and beautiful thing to say. It's so true. You are so full of power. You are a blessing, Maddie. And let the world know. It's not about losing your beautiful humility, but it is about keeping and cherishing your power. Don't be afraid to be you, because even your foes will come to you for help and advice and wisdom and encouragement. And so I come to my blessing for you. May this moment be a lifelong memory filled with joy and purpose. May this joyful moment inspire you, cause you to celebrate that you are a sister, achotenu at. Oh, sister, may you continue to grow. May you remember this moment when confronting life's challenges. Your sisters, your parents, family, friends, and community are always here for you. Do not forget. The world is a better place when you, Maddie, are not afraid to be you. And lastly, let's all rise. Maddie, will you open the ark? I'm going to share one final thought, and the cantor will lead us in our oldest blessing. One final thought before he does. May you, Maddie, think of this bat mitzvah experience every time the Torah comes from the ark. May you and I have many opportunities in the years ahead to learn and grow and have fun together. May you feel tremendously proud to be a Jew. And finally, may you know that there are very few paths in life, if any, that will feed your soul as much as your Jewish path.
Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
May you receive the ultimate blessing, Maddie, the ultimate blessing of connection to God and peace in your heart and your soul. Let's turn to page 282, Aleinu.
The bottom of the page. Aleinu לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
287.
ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
Can be seated. Can come down. As always, As always, we remember loved ones before concluding. And we remember, Maddie, from your family, these beloved family members, Jerome, Alan Ornstein, Jane Moritz, Hyman and Francis Lindenauer, Milton and Gussie Tock, and Rose and Teddy Ornstein. We remember as well from our Beth-El community, Mildred Abrams, Leon Abramson, Mildred Asher, Jenny Brandeis and Norman Brandeis, Pearl Doblin and David Freed, Yetta Harnick and Bernice Hirsch, Tobiah Lefkovich and Alice Leibowitz, Irving Nadell and Sylvia Reisman, Rosalind Reisenberg. We remember Chief Rabbi Jonathan Sachs, Florence Schwartz and Saul Schwartz, Daryl Mark Seaman and Stanley David Seaman, Alexander Stepanyuk, Charlene Sikora, Isaac Zimmerman, and Martin Stern. If there's someone who you are remembering or to rise and share their name, please feel free to do so. Anyone? Okay, let's rise as a community for the Kaddish Yatom Mourners Kaddish on 294. 294. Yitgadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
V'yalma divra cheruteh v'yamlich malchuteh. B'chayechon v'yomechon uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael. B'agalav izman kariv v'imru Amen.
Amen.
Yehei Shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam u'lomei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yit'aleh v'yit'halal Shmei Dekudesha Brechu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata v'da'amiran b'yalma v'imru Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel. And let us say one last time, Amen. Okay, we're almost home. Barbara Podwell, before we do Kiddush and Motzi, dear Barbara, please come up. You all can be seated. Maddie, it's not just a very special, amazing moment for you and your family. It is also a beautiful, blessed, precious experience for us at Temple Beth-El. And so we always have one of our amazing leaders, Barbara, this case, the Shabbat, Barbara Podwell, a member of our executive committee. There's no one who does it more at Beth-El. There may be a few people who do almost as much, but thank you, dear Barbara.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
For those who don't know me, I'm Barbara Podwell, one of the vice presidents of Temple Beth-El, and close longtime friend of the Talk family. It's my honor and pleasure on behalf of the board at Temple Beth-El to present you, Maddie, your bat mitzvah gifts. Mazel tov on the amazing job you did today, chanting Torah so beautifully. It feels like yesterday, soon after moving to Great Neck Estates, that I ran into your dad in town. I knew your dad in college at Michigan, as he was friends with my sorority sisters. Then we made the connection that we live right around the corner from each other, and our nannies, Norma and Joycelyn, are good friends. And soon after that, the Podwell and Talk families developed our close friendship. It was actually your mom who encouraged me to join Temple Beth-El. Her love of the community and connection with the Feldmans persuaded us to join. Not only did your mom persuade us to join, but she also encouraged me to be involved, helping out at a poker night fundraiser, which I think I ended up chairing, and she kind of left the committee.
Cool.
Which ultimately led to my role in leadership at Temple Beth-El. Maddie, we have known you since you were so young. We love all the experiences we have shared with your family, from little Jacob running around chasing and crushing on Haley, coming to each other's homes for Passover Seders, wearing the 5 plague masks, cheering on Michigan during the football and basketball seasons, and Go Blue beat State today, traveling to University of Maryland for a weekend to see the Michigan football crush Maryland, our Amagansett Beach hangout, and many of our joint family dinners. It amazes me, Maddie, how you've grown. You are beautiful inside and out, tall like your parents, and very strong-willed. Always persistent in not getting out of the car when arriving to Camp Bryn Mawr, with crying until you vomited with your strong desire not to go. You are independent and know what you like and want. You are an amazing athlete, excelling in basketball, even traveling to who knows where to play against who knows with to get the best opportunity to play. Not only are you strong-willed, but you are smart and kind. In your Torah portion, Hayei Sarah, we learn that small acts of kindness can affect your whole life. After Abraham buries his wife Sarah, he sets out to find a wife for his son Isaac. Abraham sends his slave Eliezer to a well in Sharon to look for a soon-to-be daughter-in-law. He first approached Rebekah and asked her to bring him some water from the well. Eliezer vowed that any woman who would not only bring water to him, but to his camels as well, were meant to be Isaac's wife. She not only gave water to Eliezer, but to all of his thirsty camels. Her choice to give ended up with her getting the chance to marry the wealthy and righteous Isaac and go down in history as a matriarch of the Jewish people. By training ourselves to be givers, we will begin to take the happiness and sweetness we all want out of life. Maddie, you are now entering the adult chapter of your Jewish life. As David, Abby, and I just had this discussion with Rabbi Meir, this is a time in your Jewish life in which helping others who are less fortunate than us is implemented, as you're already starting to do with all your basketball fundraisers for charity. My hope for you is that today is just the beginning of your Jewish journey, bounded in traditions and the acts of giving. It is my honor and pleasure to present to you this bat mitzvah gift from Temple Beth-El. Included is a tzedakah box from the Kulanu School, a Kiddush cup from the Temple's Judaica store, a Jewish book of why, a travel chamash, a bat mitzvah certificate signed by the clergy, and a letter you wrote to yourself at the 6th grade retreat. Mazel tov to you and your family. We love you. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Wait, what's happening in Ann Arbor today? The Columbus boy is asking. Oh, Michigan State. All right. You know, we've all, Podwells and Talks, we've all spoken. I spent many a Shabbat at the Horseshoe in Columbus. It's a testament to our friendship that, you know, it could withstand that difference. All right. So, grandparents, Jules and Linda, come on up. We're going to close out with you guys leading us in Kiddush and Motzi. If you would. Let's all rise. Exactly. Hold on a second. I'll give you I'll turn to the right page. All right. Here. There you go. You want a microphone? Should we start at the Shamru cantor? You want to?
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, Shavat vayinafash, Shavat vayinafash, Veshamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam.
Al Ken Barach Adonai et Yom HaShabbat Vayikad Shehu. Raise the cup and offer the blessing. Amen. Take a drink. You're barely old enough. It's grape juice too. I think so. Vintage, exactly. The year of 2012. Here we go. Okay. Good. And raise it up high for the motzi. Amen. Here, I'll take the book, and then you can take a bite. You have to eat from the challah, otherwise we can't conclude. You know, the one who blesses has to drink or eat. That's the rule. And Cantor will close with
Adon Olam on page 321. You can have a seat. Adon Olam asher malach v'terem kol yetzir nivra li'ed nasa b'chefzo kol azai melech shemo nikra v'yacharei kichlot hakol לבדו ימלוך נורא, והוא היה, והוא הווה, והוא יהיה בתפארה, והוא אחד ואין שני, להמשילו להכבירה, בלי ראשית, בלי תכלית, ולא העוז והמשרה, והוא אלי וחי גואלי, וצור חבלי ביצרה, והוא ניסי ומנוס לי, מנת כוסי ביום מקרא, בידו אבקיד רוחי, ויתישן ויעירה, ועם רוחי גבייתי, אדוני לי ולא אירא.
Mazel Tov and Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.